doing? Good day, Algebra. Last objective, we looked at how to multiply a monomial and a polynomial. So we're going to review that quickly with gusto. Who can tell me what the first one is? 3x times 4x minus 5. Damien.
Is it 12x squared minus 15? Yeah, minus 15x.
15x, okay? A couple of things to point out here. Ellen, our whole process was we're distributing that coefficient into our parentheses. What we're multiplying 3x by 4x and 3x by negative 5. But also, it's not written, so it's easy to forget. These x's each have an exponent of 1. That's where the x squared comes from. Okay, it's 3x times 4x. Total, we have 2 x's being multiplied together. Thus, we get the 12x squared. We can't combine those because they're not like terms. So we are done. Claire.
Oh, I was here.
Next one. Go ahead.
Yeah. 28x squared minus 14.
Yes, putting it in standard form is going to be 28x squared minus 14x. Again, distributing into the parentheses 7x times negative 2 and 7x times 4x. We put that 28x squared first for standard form, and that is good. Last one, Rowan.
72x to the 7 minus 27x to the 5th plus 90x to the 3rd plus 82x to the squared.
Good, very good. Yeah. Even if there's multiple terms inside parentheses, we distribute to all of them. The 9x squared goes to each of them, and we are multiplying. Okay, and then standard form there. Today, we're going to kick it up a notch, and we're going to be multiplying a binomial times a binomial. Alex, Will, I don't want to ask you to be quiet multiple times. Which basically means a two-termed expression times another two-termed expression. Okay, you see the example that we have here: 4x plus 5 times 2x minus 8. And that whole concept of distributing is still the method that we're going to use. Essentially, we are going to want to multiply this 4x by both the 2x and the negative 8. We're then going to go back to the 5 and multiply that by both the 2x and the negative 8. So essentially, each term in our first set of parentheses is going to get multiplied by each term in our second set, which can get a little bit chaotic if you don't have a method, which is why I'm going to show you two of them. The first one is called FOIL. The second one is called the crab claw. Okay, both work excellently. You can pick whichever one you want, but it's kind of an organized chaos to get to our solution. So how FOIL works. We're going to write out this expression again. 4x plus 5 and 2x minus 8. Okay? And you can see it's an acronym. The F in FOIL stands for first. Okay? Which means that we are multiplying the first terms in each set of parentheses together. And that's how we get the 4x times the 2x. We're going to draw a line over 4x times 2x, which gives us what?
8x squared.
8x squared. Okay? The O stands for outside, which means now that we've multiplied the 4x by the 2x, we're going to take that same 4x and multiply it by the negative 8. Okay? We've taken that 4x and we've multiplied it by each term in our second set. And 4x times negative 8 gives us negative 32x. What do you suppose the I stands for?
Inside.
Inside. That is correct. Inside. So now we go over to that 5, right? We're kind of done with the 4x there. We've multiplied that by both 2x and negative 8. We're doing the same thing with the 5. 5 times 2x is 10x.
Oh.
And the L stands for
Last.
We're going to take that 5 and we're going to multiply it by negative 8. Negative 8.
Negative 40.
Okay? Which gives us negative 40.
Oh.
And if you do this correctly, you should have Old Man FOIL smiling back at you. Doesn't that kind of look like a guy?
No.
No, you got the ears on the side, you got the eyebrows, the smile,
The nose.
the chin, the nose kind of in the middle. No, you don't see that?
Oh, I see it.
Oh, that's
I
real?
realized. I saw it now. You're hilarious.
Oh, I did the line.
But we're not done yet, though.
Middle parentheses.
Folks, we're not done yet because these four terms that we have there, the products of when we did our multiplying, we now have to write it as one expression. And if you do this correctly, folks, that side of the room, okay? Noah, Damien, Jack, Vincent, you weren't talking that particular instance, but you have been earlier.
Yeah.
Okay? If you do this correctly, your outside and inside terms should be combinable. Okay? Your outside and inside terms should both have an x in them, which means that we can combine them for a final answer of 8x squared minus 22x minus 40. Okay? 8x squared minus 22x minus 40 for our final answer. Questions on anything that you see so far? All right. The second method is called the crab claw, and we are again going to write out our 4x minus 5 and our 4x plus 5 and our 2x minus 8. And we're doing the same thing, really, like we're getting the same result. We're just going to draw our lines a little bit differently. Okay? We're going to start by multiplying our 4x and 2x together, like we did with Old Man FOIL. And 4x times 2x gives us 8x squared. Right? But this time, instead of going underneath to get to that negative 8, we're just going to go up top again. Okay? So we still get 4x times negative 8, it just looks a little bit different. And we still get negative 32x as a result. And now that we've distributed that 4x into each term in the second set, we go to the 5. And we do the same thing we did earlier. 5 times 2x gives us 10x. And 5 times negative 8 gives us negative 40. Grandpa! Right? Okay? So there you have it. Right? All these are just kind of an organized method to accomplish the same goal, which is take each term in the first set and multiply it by each term in the second set. Okay? Obviously, we're not done yet, but you can see we have the same 4 terms in both of them here. So we're going to combine our x terms again, just like we did earlier. And we get 8x squared minus 22x minus 40 as an answer. 8x squared minus 22x minus 40. Damien.
For our next one, so we have to do FOIL and crab claw.
For the next example, next 2 of them, you do need to do both FOIL and crab claw. On the second page for your homework, you can pick. Okay? You can pick. You got to give both a chance. Both an even opportunity. It's not that one's. It is. It is.
What's the outside term?
Okay. The outside terms would be the terms on the outside of each of the expressions, 4x and negative 8. When I explained that is when you were talking before. That's why you missed it.
Yes, you were.
In my head, I made a mental note. I said, when he asks about how I got that term, make sure you point out that he missed it because he was talking.
Yeah, you were.
Big brain. Big brain. Okay. Let's look at the next example here, and we're going to do both of them. We got 5x minus 3 and 7x minus 1. So I'm going to start by rewriting each of these. 5x minus 3, 7x minus 1. And until we get familiar with each of these, we need to be drawing the lines, we need to be writing out the terms, showing the work. Eventually, you'll be able to do this mentally, and it'll be easy. But until then, you've seen one of them, right? So we have to do a little bit of recall, okay? F stands for first. Our first terms, we're going to take that 5x and the 7x, multiply them together. And that gives us 35x squared. Our outside terms, 5x and negative 1, well, that's going to be an awkward looking chin there when we're all done, equals negative 5x. Now that we're done with the 5x, we go to the negative 3. Inside terms, negative 3 and 7x give us negative 21x. I see I've got two x terms that I can combine, my outside and inside. That's a good thing. And then our last terms, negative 3 and negative 1, give us positive 3. Hey, old man. That's good to see you. Your face looks a little lopsided, but it's the way that God made you. We look at what we can combine, our inside and outside terms, those two x terms. Who can put this all together for us? Sophie. 35x squared. Negative 26x, right? And this shift here, okay? This shift can be a bit of a challenge, right? We are multiplying where we get the x squared, 5x times 7x, 35x squared. But when we go to combine like terms, now we're adding and subtracting. So that x doesn't change. It does not become an x squared because we're adding and subtracting, not multiplying. Okay, so there's a shift in operation here, which means there's a shift in the rules and what we can do to get there. All right, and then our constant of positive 3. So 35x squared minus 26x plus 3. Okay? And this is the other reason why I'm making you do both of them, is that if you get different answers, then you did something wrong. It's easy to see it, right? All we're doing is a different method for the same question. If you don't get this exact answer, then you made a mistake. You can sing the song, and then you can go back and find it. Okay? So doing it two ways at the start is kind of a safety net to make sure that we're doing it correctly. Yes, Dave?
If we make a mistake on the test, do we have to sing the song really loud?
You can hum it quietly to yourself, but we don't need kids breaking out the song. As much fun as that would be. A different class, I give you permission, but not here.
What? They have permission to, I think, randomly start singing the song.
All right. Crap law. Same thing as the last one, just different lines drawn. We're going from the 5x to the 7x. 5x times 7x is 35x squared. We then go from the 5x to the negative 1. 5x times negative 1 is negative 5x. Now that we're done with that, we go to the negative 3. Negative 3 times 7x is negative 21x. And negative 3 times negative 1 equals positive 3. Right. We look at what we can combine. We've got that negative 5x and that negative 21x. And so our final answer, 35x squared minus 26x plus 3. The exact same thing we got using Old Man FOIL. So we can be confident that we are correct. How are we doing?
Never better.
Ooh, glad to hear that. Anybody else? Elliot?
I see the thing.
Thank you, Elliot. Good. Good. All right, I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to have you do the next one on your own. I'll remind you that when you have an x term just by itself, the coefficient's 1, even though it's not written. It's still there. Then we will compare answers and compare stories in a little bit here. Okay, let's take a look at what answers that you got here. Not showing all of the work in detail as in the other ones. X plus 3 times x minus 8. Old man FOIL, we get x squared from the first terms, negative 8x from the outside terms, 3x from the inside terms, and negative 24 from the last terms. Really pay close attention to signs. The danger of doing it mentally or working too quickly is just miss those details, miss those signs. We do have a negative 8x and a positive 3x, which combine to give us negative 5x. So x squared minus 5x minus 24 would be your answer. Okay? Using crab claw, hopefully we get the same thing, or we get to sing a little tune. Okay? X times x is x squared. Over the top, we get x times negative 8, negative 8x. Underneath, 3 times x, positive 3x. And 3 times negative 8, negative 24. Those will combine the same way as they did in the other method. X squared minus 5x minus 24. Questions on this? Raise your hand if you are an Old Man FOIL fan. Raise your hand if you are a crab claw.
I like doing FOIL, but I like doing FOIL, like Greg Chanel, but I don't do crab either.
Excellent, excellent, excellent.
Crab claw has less lines.
Your assignment, folks, your assignment due tomorrow is the next page. You've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1,
Can you
15.
put it down to half?
I do want to talk about
Please, I'll pay you $1.
3, 2, 1. Damien, warning for you. You are quiet. I do want to talk about the bottom row here with ones that look like this, 5x plus 1 squared. The temptation here is to distribute the exponent into the parentheses. So why can't you do that? That's not how you do it, okay? If we do it, then we get 5x squared, which is 25x squared, and 1 squared, which is just 1. We're missing something here, okay? What are we missing from this that we had in all the other examples? An x term, okay? So when you run into something like this, what the squared literally means is that you're taking that expression times itself. So you have to actually rewrite it to be 5x plus 1 times itself, times 5x plus 1. And if you do this, you still get the 25x squared, right? You still get the positive 1, but you also get that, oh, I botched that, underneath. The x, hold on. I kind of did Old Man FOIL claw there. Yeah, I mixed up the two methods there. You have to actually write it out as an expression times itself. You still get the 25x squared. You still get the positive 1, but what we missed is the inside outside. Okay, those x terms. So do not just distribute an exponent into parentheses. What messes that whole thing up is that we're adding here. Okay, you cannot distribute an exponent into parentheses where there's addition or subtraction. Right? So you have to actually write it out as this expression times this expression. Okay, so the 6x minus 10 squared will be the same thing there. All right, that should be it. Other questions before I let you go? Okay, show your work. This is due tomorrow. That's how you math.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.